Can you tell me, this is a good one, can you tell me some of your cons for going tiny, if any? I would say the latter. It is kind of hard to host company. You always have burning questions in the back of your mind of what people are thinking.
He always want to be pushing me out the way in the bathroom because it's small, but yep, just like that.
This is my thing about the bathroom. When it's my time, it's my time. When it's her
ain't no
time,
my and your time. It's our time.
I go in the bathroom and now all of a sudden she needs to get
all
into
right.
the bathroom. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Marek. I'm here with my beautiful wife,
Kothney-Issa.
And man, we've been trying to get to this video for a long time. Some of you probably already know this, but a couple of weeks ago, I posted on our Instagram and also on the community tab, our page right here on YouTube, and asked you guys what were some of the questions you had of us. We have a really long and really strange title. We are 28-year-old, debt-free, millennial, tiny house dwellers. Is that it? Is that everything? 28, married, debt-free, tiny house. Anyway, all of those titles are part of kind of who we are, which is a mixed bag of basically a bunch of craziness. And so we knew that there's probably a lot of burning questions out there that people wanted to know the answers to. So we just asked, what do you guys have on your mind? And the response was incredible. We actually got, you know, a ton of different questions, so much so that we're going to actually break it up into 2 different videos. We don't want to let this one get too long. But what we've done is basically have broken them up into tiny house related questions and then like some super juicy personal like relationship type questions as well. So today is going to be pretty specific to the tiny house, even though some of these are actually really good. And then in the next couple of days, maybe a week at the most, you'll see the other one. So make sure you stay tuned for part 2 as well.
All right, so let's get right into it. Question number 1.
Yeah, so this first one comes in from Sun Moon Stars, and it says, "Hey family, I have several questions. Yes, I'm extra."
So am I, so don't worry.
Can you do a 24-hour in the life of the Bushes in a tiny home? Yes, we can. That's actually coming up. It's going to be drastically different right now while we're on this whole
I know, like, it's probably going to be pretty boring, but
life is a little bit different right now. So we're trying to figure out if we want to do it from that perspective or from the perspective of like our normal everyday. But that is definitely coming in the coming weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that. Several other questions from the same user. Can you do some cooking videos? I low-key want to see you cook delicious Haitian food.
Yes, sis, I got you. Listen, we're going to do it this week. Like we said, we're going to be, these next couple weeks, we're going to be uploading a lot and just different types of videos. So absolutely, that will be in there because I got some butter that I need to cook, and I got some zuri jonjon that my mama gave me some spice to that I can cook for y'all. So yes, stay tuned. I surely will.
Yeah, next one. Same person still. How do you manage high and extremely low temperatures in your tiny home? Do you conserve or do you turn up air conditioner or heater when necessary? And also, how do you get along with neighbors?
So heating and cooling can literally be turned on in the same day because sometimes I'll wake up and it's hot, and then by the time the end of the day comes and like we're riding down for bed, it'll be cold, so the heat will go on. The mini split does a pretty good job of like cooling or heating the place when we need it. So, and it doesn't really take much energy. Our energy bill is still pretty low, so.
Yeah, I do worry about it a little bit. If we move to like an extremely cold temperature, we probably would have to do a lot more from like a winterization standpoint. I'm talking like super cold, like Wisconsin or something like that. We probably have to do something more and also add some type of additional heating source. That's just my theory. I don't know that for sure. But for the most part, everywhere we've lived, which is Texas and Florida, it's been good for both elements.
And we pretty much get along just fine with our neighbors. It's kind of like a big family. We all are on this group message chat. And we just be like, hey, somebody wants to do a bonfire tonight. We're going to hang out tonight, game night tonight. So yeah, it's like college dorms with adults in a sense. It's actually pretty cool. So
yeah, small little tiny house community right here in the city limits. We're close to everything we need to get to. There's 13 lots. We actually know all of our neighbors. We've never known all of our neighbors before, even when we lived in an apartment complex. So that works out really well. And then there's something about just like, you know, we all kind of relate on a certain level when it comes to the tiny house. Even though we all have our different reasons for going tiny, it's something that kind of connects us. So that's always been cool to kind of spend time with our neighbors and get to know them.
Yeah.
Next question, legacy impact coaching. Do you rent the space you park your tiny house? Is that called a tiny house park?
We do rent the space that we are parked on. It is called a tiny home village. It's about $500 a month.
Yep,
for the space.
$500 a month, and that includes everything except electric. So gas, water, sewer, sewer, water, trash, and a free washateria. Andre Bard, what's the best option in your opinion for a tiny home on wheels to park permanently to call home? I would say a place like this, you can park here as long as you want. Any tiny house village, I would assume, would be long-term permanent situations. Even RV parks will allow long-term, but really in the long term, if you're done moving and you're not going anywhere, I would say buy your own land, especially if you can find some land out in the woods and just kind of have your own private, like secluded area for your home. And that would probably be what's best. You just have to check with local zoning and see how the property is zoned to make sure that it's going to be a legal situation. Robert's on a budget, very similar question. How do you find out if tiny houses are legal in your state? It's really not a statewide thing. It's a city by city thing. It really depends on specifically where you're at. Like, they're legal where we're sitting right now, but there's a town 10 minutes from here that they're illegal. So you really have to just get into the nitty gritty details of the specific jurisdiction where you're looking to park. Grace Michelle has a lot of questions, but they all kind of have the same theme. Basically, the overarching theme of this one is, do you ever just get sick of living in a tiny house? Is essentially it. But what she said was, how long do you plan on living tiny? Where do you go when you want to be alone, or do you?
Ain't no one alone up in here. We got married. It's together or nothing, boo-boo. Look, we're looking for jobs together right now so that we can be together during this quarantine if we do have to get some jobs. Ain't no long time.
Do you ever sleep on the main level because you don't feel like climbing? Do you ever just want a bedroom with a door that closes? Ever get tired of everything being open? I think all my questions have a theme.
Yeah, I would say I never sleep on the couch. Maurice does. Like if I'm out of town or if I'm out of town or he ended up editing a video really, really late, he'll like stay and sleep on the couch. I will not sleep on the couch unless I fell asleep and he didn't wake me up, because no. Two people not sleeping on that couch. I need my bed. And I love my bed, and it is comfortable and big and spacious and all that. So absolutely not. Kothney-Issa does not sleep on the bed, on the couch, but Mari does from time to time.
Just comfortable to me.
Yeah.
And also, like, if I can avoid climbing up, I do. Especially like if she's out of town or something like that. It's not a problem to climb up and down, but it's just an extra step. I just get lazy sometimes. And then like on the late night with the edits, sometimes like it'll be like 5 a.m. and like if I climb up there, I might wake her up and she's already gonna wake up in like 30 minutes. Yeah. So I try to just stay down here so that she can stay asleep all the way through. And
we plan on being tiny for as long as we see it fit, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun to see how it is with kids. Like, that'll be the true test of whether or not we can do this forever. I don't know. Probably wouldn't do it
for a longer time.
For a longer time. All right, Joy Matisse. What are the rental options or limitations for a tiny house? So I'm not sure exactly what she means by this, but I'm guessing she's saying like, are you able to like rent tiny houses, or do you have to buy them?
You can rent them off of Airbnb. Like people don't typically rent them out though. Like there are builders that build them for you to purchase, but you'll find a lot of people putting them up on Airbnb because people are interested in the experience, and so it's a way for you to be able to get in there, see if you really like it for cheap.
Yeah, I've heard of one tiny house community, and it was out in California, and they had some owner-occupied homes, some rental homes for like short-term, like a weekend, and then some like long-term rental homes. But that's the only one I've ever really heard of. I don't remember what it's called, but they did have a weed house. It was called a 420 house.
Yeah.
And everything in there is like weed thing, like the shower curtains, the blankets and everything like that. That was the one thing that stood out to me. So If you look that up, like Lead Tiny House or 420 House, you'll find the community and you'll find their YouTube channel and their page and all that. Average APOI, what are the hidden costs, i.e. city taxes, land, property, owner fees, utilities, maintenance? Basically just what are some of the costs that people don't necessarily think about. When it comes to utilities, we kind of already talked about that before. Maintenance is the same as it would be like on a traditional home. Nothing really special there. I do feel like the movement is kind of a hidden cost. Like it's expensive to move a tiny house. You got to do it yourself, which is scary. We're probably going to do it ourselves from now on.
Yeah, because we've done it once now.
But you know, if you hire a mover, like I think our move from Florida to Texas was $2,500, something like that. Which, you know, if you're a shipper or like a freight handler, like that's fair. But I'm just saying for the average person, you think about $2,500. I guess moving expenses can get up that high if you move a house. Like you're, you know, like an apartment. I don't know. If you think that's expensive, it's expensive. Either way, that's one of the things that I think is kind of a hidden cost. As far as taxes, that's actually a hidden savings. We don't pay property tax like you would on a traditional home. And in that regard, this is actually an RV.
Vehicle, yeah.
And so we actually only pay like registration costs. It's usually like $30 or $70 depending on the state that you're in. And those are our taxes for the year.
Yeah, and then we also skirted the house. That was the cost to it, but you don't necessarily have to skirt. Our village asked us to do so, so that's why we went ahead and did that, but you don't have to do it. It does make it look nicer, but it's your preference.
All right, we got two more questions here from, two more people. A couple questions each. 40 plus fitness. You mentioned getting a traditional home once you decide to start a family after living in a tiny house. How big do you think the traditional home would be? How much would you be willing to spend on a traditional home?
Listen, after living tiny, I don't think I could go back to like a really huge big. Like what I would do with all that.
We never had a house though.
Yeah, but we had an what was it, 1,100 square foot loft downtown, and we literally were like buying furniture just to fill up space. And that didn't seem too big to me. I think we could do something like that, but I just feel like unless I got some kids that's gonna live in the room, what I'm buying furniture for? Like that's just for real. That's just doing too much. So I think it's gonna be on the smaller side.
Square footage.
1,100 square feet will be just fine. Probably a little bit more. Why are you looking like that?
No, I'm just thinking of my number. I would probably say 1,800 to 2,200.
We'll see. Well, we don't know. I mean, when we get there, we'll test them out.
What about price? How much would you spend?
I'm not spending nothing over $200,000.
I was thinking the same thing, 200.
So yeah,
we're on the same page. This is the last one we got. Sarah Thomas, 27. How are you able to find a company that would insure your tiny home? Can you advise what company you chose to use?
I don't remember the name. Listen, Marie did the research and found the people. I don't remember the name, but they're expensive as crap. For real, because it's a specialty.
Expensive for a tiny house,
right? Because it's a specialty, like insurance company, so it's gonna be a little bit more costly, if you will. So, yeah, what is it, about $900 for the year? Something like
it's around $900 after all things included, which is very similar to like probably a 2,500 or 3,000 square foot traditional home. So that's pretty pricey. I guess there's uniqueness to it. I don't know. Either way, we just, like the peace of mind. We pay it once a year. We just pay it all at once and call it good. And it's Lloyd's of London is they're out of, I believe, the UK, maybe. But basically, we just did Google search. Like, you were just like, how do you insure a tiny house? And we just like went down the rabbit hole of all of that. And then everything, it seemed like no matter what website we went to, it all like referred us back to like these three primary agents. There's like three main names of three guys that pretty much do most of the insurance across the country. So
he keeps saying we, like I had anything to do with this. I'm just happy he's giving me some credit for it.
There's like three main brokers whose names will pop up. We ended up going with, I forget the name right now.
You just said Lloyd's of London.
Well, Lloyd's of London is the insurer, but I don't remember the broker's name off the top of my head. Last question. This is also from the same user, Sarah Thomas 27. Can you tell me, this is a good one, can you tell me some of your cons for going tiny, if any? Thank you, and I really enjoy watching your channel. Thank you. We enjoy you watching.
Absolutely. So I'm confused. The cons
of
living tiny. Okay. Yeah. Climbing up to the loft.
Yeah, I would say the ladder. Yeah, the ladder and climbing up to the sleeping loft is probably the thing that's the most different. It's not a big deal. We're not that, like, we're young. I think we're young.
My body feeling a little old, but yeah, we're younger.
But if there was one thing that popped out that's just totally different than living in a traditional house, it's that process. Outside of that, it is kind of hard to host company. Before we went tiny, we used to say, oh yeah, we're gonna still have parties and stuff and have people over, and then it just kind of doesn't really ever happen.
Yeah, because that is something we did enjoy to do before we went tiny, was like having people over the house, and
and we still do it from time to time, but it's extremely rare. It happens not that often at all. And
it's like smaller groups now, so
and you always have burning questions in the back of your mind of what people are thinking, kind of like in the video we did. So you should definitely go and check that one out. I'll put it right there. But yeah, I would say, any other cons?
Not for me. I mean, he always want to be pushing me out the way in the bathroom because it's small, but yep, just like that. He'll literally have space to move over and let me by, but want to be petty and don't want to let me by.
See, this is my thing about the bathroom. When it's my time, it's my time.
Ain't no my and your time. It's our time.
I go in the bathroom, and now all of a sudden she needs to get.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching our video and for listening to us answer all those questions. We love y'all. We hope you enjoyed it. We're actually getting ready to record.
Stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned
part
for part
2
2
right now. It is coming, so stay tuned and be looking out for that video. We love y'all.